I'd like to thank you, Joshua Becker, for taking the time to participate in the Celebrate Life Summit. Sean and I are thrilled to have you here and share your thoughts and insights about simple living and minimalism.
Well, thanks so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be a part of your summit.
Awesome. The Celebrate Life Summit is about learning to live simply. It's about deciding to let go of the stuff and really celebrating life. Have you always been a minimalist?
I have not. No, I like to think I spent most of my life as just a typical American, typical suburban, I guess you could say, collecting stuff and buying bigger houses and chasing a lot of those things with my life. So no, it's kind of relatively new to me, actually, the last couple of years.
What made you start your Becoming Minimalist blog?
So the way that we ended up becoming a minimalist, or deciding to intentionally live with less stuff, it happened. I was living in Vermont at the time, and it was a day of spring cleaning, after the winter, and so I was cleaning out the garage, and this, if you can kind of picture this, I'm pulling everything out of the garage and I'm putting it in the driveway so that I can go back in and clean out everything and then reorganize everything after the winter. And my son was 5 years old at the time, and so I was hoping that he would help me out with the project, and I don't know what I was thinking, that my 5-year-old was going to help me out, But he maybe pulled out one thing of toys, and then he was going to go back and grab another thing, and found his baseball bat and his baseball, which he hadn't had all winter. And so he asked me to go play baseball with him in the backyard. But I didn't feel like I could because I had committed my day to cleaning out the garage full of stuff. So hours go by of pulling things out and hoping to clean it and organize everything. And the whole time, it's occurring to me that I would much rather be in the backyard playing with my son. Like, that's far more important to me than taking care of the things that I own and all the possessions and just all the time and energy that was going into that. So I had the pile of stuff in my driveway, and my neighbor happened to be outside, and so she was cleaning out her garage or trimming the yard or whatever. And so I was talking to her about it, and she just made the comment. She goes, "Yeah, that's why my daughter's a minimalist. She keeps telling me that I don't need to own all this stuff." And for the first time, like it clicked, For the first time, it was like, yeah, I am totally just wasting my life collecting things when the things that are most important to me are my family and my friends, relationships, my faith, that sort of thing. So that was a decision. Like, that was it. Like, right there, talking to her, I said, I'm in. I'm going to do this minimalism deal, and I'm going to get rid of everything that I don't need to own and just try and own less things. So I went inside and told my wife, and she, of course, had been cleaning all day inside, and so she's like, "Yeah, I think it sounds great." So we started down that road and started the blog like that night, that evening, and it wasn't necessarily anything that I was hoping was going to become what it is today. We just did it just to journal. We're getting rid of this stuff today. We're going through this room. Here's what we're keeping. Here's what we're getting rid of. Here's how we're getting rid of it. And so the blog just started out as just kind of our personal journey. And about a year and a half later, it kind of took this turn of, this has been a great decision. I want to encourage others to do the same thing. So that's kind of what the blog is now. So anyway, that's a long answer to the question, but kind of how it started. So there you go.
Cool.
Great.
Crystal and I have slowly been letting go of stuff with our families as well. We did a little minimalist challenge this spring where we videoed ourselves getting rid of stuff. Can you tell us more about the changes that your family has gone through as you learn to live with less?
Yeah. I don't want to be too rosy of a picture because there's, certainly some hard times that go through the process of getting rid of your things and deciding to live really a pretty countercultural lifestyle of purposefully living with less stuff. But for the most part, I think the changes have been good. I mean, it's been all beneficial stuff. We used to kind of live paycheck to paycheck with our income, and just when you stop buying things, felt like we were able to save a lot more money, or save some money, for the first time, and have some of that. Felt like we spent a lot of less time cleaning and organizing, and have been able to spend more time together as a family. There's been adjustments, my wife and I trying to settle on, okay, what things do we need to keep and what things should we get rid of, and but I think that process of making those decisions has been good for us and has helped us kind of solidify our values and what things are most important to our life. So generally speaking, it's been nothing but good lifestyle changes.
Wonderful. A lot of people think that living with less means having less fun. What would you say to those people?
I think it depends on what your definition of fun is, and one of the things that one of my mantras is that I say that there's more life to be found in owning less than can be found in owning more. And I really believe that the things that are most important to us in life, you ask anyone what's most important in life, and no one says, owning a really big house and having as much stuff in it as possible. It's things like love and hope and joy and family and peace. Those are the things that people really want to accomplish with their life and have in their life. And the things that we own, we don't even realize it, are keeping us from the very things that we want so much of. And so, does it change what fun is? Yeah, I don't own boats and jet skis and skis, so there's some things that I don't own that maybe would be fun for a little while, but I think that we're able to pursue some of the more lasting things that are really more fun in the long run anyway. And, it's not like I don't own anything. We own board games, and we own cards, and my son plays sports, and I play tennis, and so we have things that we do as fun, but we just don't have a collection of stuff that we don't use anymore.
Mm-hmm. What's your number one piece of advice that you would give to anyone that wants to get started living with less?
Do it. Jump right in and get started. I think that I go around and I get to speak on the topic a lot. I haven't been to Canada yet, so that'd be fun. But get to speak on the topic at a lot of different venues, and normally people agree with it, and it kind of resonates with their heart. We start talking about the benefits of owning less, and they can agree with it. But what I found is that they typically, if they don't get started, it's because they typically think of the hard things first. What about this? What about that? What about my husband's stuff? What about, all the sentimental things that I own? Or what about my kids' toys? Or what about my books? They always go to the tough stuff first. And so my piece of advice always is, start easy. Just go through your house and just grab a bag and throw everything in there that you don't need or you don't use anymore, and just start there and breathe a little bit of life into your house, and you'll start to see some of the benefits of owning less right away, and then that carries you into some of the tougher questions about like books and sentimental things that people seem to struggle with a lot. So my piece of advice is just do it, but start easy, and just start with the stuff that's getting in the way already, and then go from there.
What are some of the ways that you spend time with your kids and your spouse?
I think one of the best benefits of owning less stuff is that we do have more time, and that we are able to do more things. As I mentioned, we spend less on buying some of the things that a typical family would, and so I think that we have more money left over to do some of the experiences and some of the more memorable things that really I look back on my life, and growing up, and I think of the vacations, and I think of the fun trips and those types of things with my family more than the things that they bought me. So anything that I think is a memorable experience. We just moved to Phoenix a few months ago, and so I just took my son to his first NBA basketball game last night, which he just loved, and went to a baseball game in the summer. And so do those sorts of things that they're more experience-based rather than purchase-based, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So you have 2 books, Joshua, Inside Out Simplicity and Simplify. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So Simplify was the first book that we wrote, and we had been blogging for about a year and a half, or a little over a year and a half, and had kind of gone through the initial getting rid of everything, and we're finding more and more opportunities to share our stories with people, and found that it was really resonating, like I mentioned, and they hearing a lot of the same questions that people were asking, some of the same questions that you're asking, how'd you get started, and what's it like living with less stuff, and what are the benefits, and how do I get started, and those types of things. So the first book is Simplify, 7 Guiding Principles to Help Anyone Declutter Their Home and Life, and that's primarily deals with getting rid of the possessions that we own. Inside Out Simplicity then is more of an internal look at some of the emotions that we went through at the time. Like, you can take 1 or 2 bags of things to the Goodwill to donate, and you feel okay, but after about the 8th or 9th bag of things to the Goodwill, you start to ask yourself some pretty tough questions, like, why did I buy all this stuff in the first place, and what was I hoping to accomplish with it? And so I think that hits some of the internal workings of a simplified life, and we do it in terms of your most important relationships with your spouse and kids, and with yourself and with your possessions, those types of things. So, but the first one seems to sell a lot better than the second one. So I'd send people there to get started.
Okay. Tell us about any other program you'd like to share, or even where our viewers can find you online.
Yeah, sure. So the website is becomingminimalist.com, www.becomingminimalist.com, and for now that's my home base. That's everything I do kind of flows from there. I write for an organizing site, but that's just once a month. So primarily I write there once or twice a week. The books are for sale on Amazon, as I mentioned. I'm working on a print book right now. My first, the other 2 are self-published. This one's a print book with a publisher, so
Awesome.
Excited to see what that'll be down the road. And but other than that, there's some great websites out there. Zen Habits, you can search for that. Be More with Less is another good website. So I think there's a lot of just free information out there that people can find to encourage them in their journey.
Awesome.
Definitely, yeah.
We love all those books.
Oh, great. Nice.
We just interviewed Leo a couple of days ago, too. So
Oh,
really
yeah,
exciting.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. I'm excited to share this with our viewers.
much.
Yeah. Of course, we
Yeah,
believe
great.
in simple, and
Oh,
we were
yeah.
organizers, so we love your blog and really enjoy it.
Well, super excited to hear what you guys are doing up there, and I'm sure it's going to benefit a lot of different people in their lives and in their journey. So good for you. Glad to be a part of it. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you.